Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Piper Report. Asia under Trump, how the U.S. is losing the region to China. So CNN posted an article saying how Donald Trump's America First policy is ruining the U.S. influence in the world. I won't go over the whole article because it's quite long, but I will go over the intro here up to here. And, well, let's just go over it. In just 1 year, U.S. President Donald Trump has changed the way Asia looks at the U.S. The cornerstones of American power in Asia, Japan, Australia, and South Korea all lost a little faith in their longtime close ally and protector in 2017, according to a Gallup polling. And here is the Gallup poll. Median approval of U.S. leadership is 30%, down from 48% in 2016, so it dropped 18%. U.S. approval dropped substantially in 65 countries and areas. Germany's leadership now tops that of US, China, and Russia. That's not going to last long, though. Germany is literally destroying itself from the inside out. Give it a couple years, as more and more rampant crime continues in Germany from the rampant amount of migration from countries that basically left their home because they didn't feel safe, but a lot of them left for economic benefits. They came over because they wanted welfare. They came over because it wasn't just about their own safety. Yes, there were some that did that, but they came over for a better life because they knew they could get a better life. But as we see from these mass migrations that happens, is that countries like Germany and the citizens of Germany are literally being destroyed from the inside out. Rape in Sweden, for instance, is up dramatically. Crime in Germany is up dramatically. You can watch videos on YouTube where basically people in Germany, German citizens, were trying to hold up a German flag, and the cops wouldn't let them do it. Germany is literally being destroyed from the inside out. So even though they may appear like Germany is leading the world right now, in a few years, you're not going to have a Germany. Germany will be no more. Is devolving into a state where Muslim migrants, yes, I'm sorry to say it, Muslim migrants that are bringing crime are ruining it. Now, I should clarify this, because if I don't, I'm a bigot. Not all Muslims are violent. But the fact is that Germany's crime rate has increased dramatically ever since the mass migration of Islamic citizens. So, they have two choices. They can keep on with this migration and continue to watch their country be destroyed, or they could actually put a stop to it. Well, they're not going to put a stop to it. So the perception of Germany, although it may look good right now, won't be good in a couple years. And not only that, I'll get into it because they mentioned it in the article as well here. It's, okay. No military assets have been withdrawn, no embassies closed, but the lack of interest expressed by U.S. administration focused on America First has deeply shaken its status in the region. Many people would argue that it's about time we do America First. No one is saying that we're not going to work with other nations. No one is saying that America is going to be an isolationist country. It is that it's time to put America first. There's nothing wrong with that. Countries like South Korea do that. Countries like Japan does that. China does that. Germany is putting Islamic migration first, but that's going to come and destroy their country. Just wait. It's already happening. Some people would argue that Germany is already destroyed. That Germany, the fabric of German society, is no longer comparable to what it was 10 and 15 years ago. That it has drastically devolved and deviated away from a path of righteousness and instead now is a path just of moral destruction. People can argue that, and that's how I see it. When I was younger, back when I turned 18, and before I was 21, I always wanted to kind of go to Europe, because you can drink when you're 18 in Europe and things of that nature, and I always thought it'd be fun to go on a trip to Europe. I don't think that anymore. I don't want to go to Germany anymore. I don't want to go to Sweden anymore. I actually fear for my safety going over there. The Europe that I know, or the Europe that I at least heard of and read about, no longer exists. And that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. Rapid migration is not a good thing, especially if it has dire consequences on the citizens of that country, especially And I can't stress this enough, especially in terms of crime. Because if one of your citizens, a long citizen, a citizen that's been there for years, if he or she if their life is now worse, if they are actually attacked, physically assaulted, or maybe even go in poverty because the German Chancellor Merkel cares more about Islamic migrants and other migrants over a citizen who's been there forever, then Germany is no longer the same. And that's how I see it. And that's how millions of other people see it. I don't want to go to Germany. I don't want to go to Europe. That has changed. That's only going to get worse. Let's see. Nowadays, when we attend international conferences around Asia, nobody really talks about the U.S. anymore. It's a little bit strange. Uncertainty about America's commitment to the region has prompted local leaders to strengthen ties with each other to prepare for the day when U.S. no longer has their backs. Okay. This is kind of a straw man in a way, because to prepare for the day that U.S. no longer has their backs, the implication being there is that the U.S. is going to become an isolationist country. And as of now, Donald Trump has done or said nothing that would indicate that. He has done or said nothing that would indicate the U.S. being an isolationist country that does not have the back of its allies. But what they're conveniently leaving out, and of course this is CNN, so they kind of have to because they really can't, they have to make it look. They have to make it look that Donald Trump caring about the American people over world citizens is a bad thing because we are ignoring our closest allies that have our backs, and they are trying to give this illusion that we no longer have their backs. But in reality, people can see it a different way. It's a good thing that the president wants to take care of American citizens first. It's a good thing he cares more about American citizens over that of South Korean citizens or Japanese citizens. Yes, they are our allies. Yes, they should be our friends. We should still conduct trade with them. But it doesn't mean we have to bend over backwards for them first. It doesn't mean we have to take care of them first before we take care of our own citizens. But they can't have that in this article. They can't mention that, because if they do, then they lose more credibility, because their whole show is dedicated to trying to destroy Donald Trump and his administration. So I got to spin the story. This is called organized spin. They spin the story in such a way that it makes Donald Trump look bad, even though if you would omit some of these remarks, it would make Donald Trump look good. Many people agree with this, that, hey, this is good, this America First policy. Hey, I can get on board with that. But CNN can't have that, oh no. Meanwhile, a number of simmering flashpoints across the region could test the U.S. commitment to its allies. And Masu said China is likely to use those points of tension to prove its regional supremacy. Well, we don't own the world. U.S. imperialism needs to be stopped. Globalism is not a good thing. We are already in way too many wars in the Middle East. We have troops in over 120 countries. If China wants to dominate Asia, well, guess what? China is composed of Asians. So them dominating the continent of Asia isn't really a big deal because that really doesn't affect us. China's citizens are not our citizens. The people living in Asia are not Americans. Does that mean we shouldn't care about them? No, we should, and we do. But it's time to take care of America first. After that, instead of spending millions of dollars on decorating mosques overseas like Obama did, Rand Paul, he does a lot of great speeches in Congress, and he did a couple speeches where he explained all of the stuff we spend money on. And it is insane how much money we spend on irrelevant material, especially overseas. Here's another example. During the Obama administration, we spent millions of dollars to teach Moroccan kids pottery. Recently, we spent millions of dollars doing a study. This was in America, so it wasn't overseas, but we did a study basically questioning young children, asking them, if you're in a buffet line and a kid sneezes on the food in front of you, are you going to eat it yet? Like, really? We're going to spend money on those kinds of studies? No. It's time to do what benefits the American people. So CNN here, they try to go over every single thing, how Donald Trump's administration destroying our image of the world, and they're trying to make Germany appear like the benevolent leader of the world, but most of the people can see through that. And pretty soon, even the most oblivious people will see Germany is indeed failing. That the European Union is actually dying. That's why Brexit happened. That's why Marine Le Pen in France, even though she lost, she still gained a lot of traction with the citizens there. There is an awakening. And people are going to start getting rid of these types of leaders that believe in hardcore mass migration that damages their own country. It doesn't matter what CNN says. People are waking up. And no matter how hard they try to make Donald Trump appear weak, to make him appear that, well, he should take care of others before Americans, it's not going to work. Because people can see through it. And I'm done.